And that's why you should never try to swallow a penguin whole. So today we're going to take a look at Monday, November 11th. We'll take a look at the my regular class. With my band different words. We have the vocab list. We'll run through and do this. Your test is going to be up next week, Monday, the 18th. 18th works for me. So make sure you've written that down. I will, for those of you on Remind 101, I will send out the Remind 101 this weekend to remind you. Once again, you can sign up via blah blah blah, and that'll help sign you up for it if you want. Just make sure you do the @BROV. If you add extra letters, it apparently signs you up for some other dude's class who's not nearly as awesome as I am. For the words, since you didn't have to go through and reveal them to you, I at least want to go through and talk about them. Hopefully you spelled them correctly. Number one was ancient, from Lady and the Tiger. It means very old, older than dirt, older, really old, even older than me.
That's not possible.
It is. Potent, from fisherman. It means powerful or strong. He says that he was, the genie says he's going to make him a potent ruler. You can also have like potent gas if you eat the wrong foods.
Powerful gas.
You could, yes, and then you can have gas that will clear out the room. My young daughter has very potent belches. It sounds like a trucker has entered the room. So anything along those lines, it can be very, very powerful and strong. 3, mechanical or mechanical. From the fun they have, because they talk about the mechanical teacher. You guys have mechanical pencils. It's the one that looks like a little machine. You click it and the lead comes out. That's the mechanical pencils. They're sort of like a little machine. Superior. From fun they had, bigger or better. It was, what's his name? The boy. Margie. Who was the kid? Tommy felt he was superior because he was older, and he kept going. He's like, "You're so stupid. You're a moron. You're an idiot." He's like, "You're a jerk," and slapped him because he thought he was superior. Dispute. She didn't think that she could dispute with them, which means to argument or have a fight. Many of you guys try to dispute things in class, and you realize, "Oh yes, Mr. Brovicast, he's always right." And then you realize how silly it is. You're always more than welcome to try and dispute things, and I just laugh at you because I've never been wrong. Just enjoy being me. Arouse, from necklace, means to wake up, to cause, to begin, as in you should never try to arouse my dark side, as my 5th period has done, and I get to unleash all kinds of horrible, mean things upon them today. It's going to be a whole new world, because they have made poor choices, and they have aroused my Kaiborbian side, which means they have awakened, they have brought it about. Clasp, from a necklace, means to hold together. Just in your necklace, the clasp is the thing that holds it. But you can also have your hands, you can clasp your hands together, which will probably happen once again in 5th period today as I get ready to unleash fury upon them and they clasp their hands. "Please don't kill me in front of others." Like, out of luck.
Then you clasp your neck.
Fine, I'll charge you points. You were really crazy. And so that'll be the same thing as you clasp, as Belbert clasps his hand. "Don't charge me points, Mr. Rowe." He's already out of luck too. Clasping. Drone, from the story Voices, we're going to get to today. It means speaking in a boring voice for an extended period of time.
Mr. Brovicast, just like your class.
Ouch. And so when you have the teacher that talks like this the entire time, and the voice does not go up or down like this, and the whole time they are talking, and then they continue like this, and they're trying to teach, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, this is hurting my brain, just trying to listen to you." That is the idea of the drone. And you can also have like a plane engine that drones on, it's that same so they can help. My daughters like listening to fans at night, because it has like that steady is that droning? Droning can help things. Oddly enough, my daughter also downloads my podcast and listens to them at night, because apparently she thinks my voice puts her to sleep. Not insulting. And then also exasperate from Voices, meaning to irritate or annoy. Like if you were to sit right in the front row and talk nonstop and lose your points, you would probably exasperate the teacher, and then you'd have to beat you with a stick. Oh, look, a stick. Or maybe just lose points, or any number of things like that. And then you also have vicious, which will come up from the story coming up from this week. Hey, you down there, which is a fun story. But it means mean, painful, painfully severe. This guy. And once again, my 5th period, which will be all kinds of fun. They're going to see my vicious side, because for 1 week they don't get to see me smile, and they don't get to talk for an entire week, and I get to unleash all kinds of horrible, evil viciousness upon them. And there will be tears, and they do not want to see me cry. So these are the 10 words that you guys are going to have. Oh, you're good to go. When's the test?
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
Done. You have Remind 101. I'll remind-ificate you. What's due tomorrow?
The homework, whole story, homework number 2.
Good job.
The whole
And once again, connects to the quiz and stuff like that. Then,
Good job.
we'll run through this real quick. I'm going to stand over here. So this way you can try to not look at it and you can look at me instead. If you need to look that way, you can, but I prefer you look this way to make things better. Alright, I'm going to start off with
Characters. Who's in the story? Setting. When and where. Plot. What happens? Point of view. How we see the story. Theme. What we learn. Internal conflict. Make a decision. External conflict. Versus something.
You started off yelling setting really loudly, dear.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said characters.
You did not. You pronounced it completely wrong. Alright. Then hopefully we'll come back at the end of class and give you guys a chance to do that for the actual quiz. Now, you can put the notebook away and off to the side. That's fine with me. We'll get to for the voices. Do you guys know what foreshadowing is?
Oh, we did. Oh, I'm so excited too.
Yes, Talkie. That'd be you.
It's when you're reading a story and the story gives clues to what's going on.
Nicely done. In this particular story, it's set up where you're not going to know what's happening in it. And it just ends without telling. You guys remember The Lady and the Tiger?
Yeah.
When it just ended, you know, the joys of this thing. This thing is similar where it just stops. The good news is it does have a definite ending. The trick is you have to find the clues in the story to find out what it is. Now, as we go through, there's a good chance at some point you're going to do this. Because you're going to figure out what it is and you're going to get all excited. Don't do that. For one, it's distracting. Two, don't yell out what it is. He's a monkey! He's a monkey! Because then it ruins it for everyone else. So just keep the knowledge in your brain, and then we'll try to guide the other kids to become as smart as you. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Maya.
Can I read, please?
What I'm going to help you guys do is if you want to read, to separate the difference, if you have a question, raise your hand, and when you want to read, I'll have you make a fist and put it on top. And that way I'll know the difference between those of you who are just wanting to read, and then those of you who have a question. And that way I can go things fast. And just put a fist up there, and that's absolutely fine for me. Freely.
If we think we know what it is, can we do this?
Sure, that's slightly better. That'll work. Johnson?
What did you wrote this story?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Alright, so we're good to go from there. With the voices, we're going to start off, we're going to do that probably close to the whole first column, maybe half the column, we'll see. We're going to introduce the character, and we're going to find out what's happening to the character from there. But you're going to have to be really loud, because the recordificator's over here.
Okay.
Alright, Maya. Project the voices.
Arg! The loud scream woke Sam from his sleep. He sat up and flipped on the light next to his bed. A quick glance at the clock on his dresser told him it was 5 o'clock in the morning. It took him a frantic moment to figure out what it was that had woke him. It had been a scream, his own scream, he realized. He thought for a moment as to what had caused a scream frightening enough to wake him up. The car crash, the fire, his family dying in the horrible blaze. The images came rushing back into his brain moments before the realization did. The realization that it had been a dream and not real. It had been a vivid dream. It had seemed eerily real, but it had been a dream, only a dream. Through the first whole column?
Keep going a little more.
He lay back in his bed and concentrated on relaxing. He started an hour and a half before his alarm would go off for school. He had enough trouble today with his math test and all, so worrying about a bad dream was the last thing he wanted to do.
Keep going from there, Mickey. Man.
But man, it seemed so real. It had really spooked him. He could almost feel the heat from the fire, heard the screams of his family trapped in the burning wreckage, smell of the icky fumes of burning rubber from the inside of the car mixed with the other smells he couldn't quite place and didn't want to know. A smell that reminded him of summer barbecues for some reason, and he knew he didn't like it. No, he shook his head and tried to clear the disturbing images from his mind. This wasn't helping. He turned off his bedside lamp and rolled over to go to sleep. In the quiet of his house, he could hear his own breathing, the dog, Nevada, snuggling around downstairs in the creaks of the house in the night. But it was then, at that quiet moment in the middle of the night, he heard the voices for the first time. They were soft and foggy, but they were definitely there. And it scared him so badly that he wished he was dreaming again.
Sam, don't leave us.
Oh, was that the
Keep going.
Oh, Sam, don't
No,
leave us.
Sam. I'll say the voices. You just keep going.
And then another voice louder and much clearer.
Dead. There's voices that'll pop up as we go through, and I'll do the voices so it's separate from whoever's trying to read. So we start off with, we find out who our main character, only character, a character. We'll start from there. Maze, what do we have?
Sam,
Sam. What do we know about Sam?
he's sleeping and he woke up from a dream that really sleepy.
Right, so it's sleeping. So where do we assume it? Then for setting, where do we assume it's taking place?
His bedroom.
Probably in his bedroom. What was his bad dream about? Because that'll come back, and that's going to talk about that a little bit. Jake?
His family died.
Nice. About his family dying. Apparently, it was a really vivid dream. So it was, and you wake up in the middle of it, and you realize this, everything's okay, just a bad dream. And it's time before school. Maya?
He then it was fire or something.
Nice. So it was family dying because it was the car wreck. Was it the car wreck?
Yeah.
No,
Car wreck.
car catch on fire.
And
Car was
watching
on
your
fire.
family burn.
There you go, watching the family burn and stuff like that.
Liars.
Then, as he falls back to sleep, we add in the fun stuff. And what happens to him as he's doing his best to fall back to sleep? Free H.
He hears these awesome voices.
I'm not sure awesome would go for it, but he hears voices, and what do the voices say to him, Daughtery?
Well, they say that Sam, don't leave us
Uh-huh.
dead.
Nicely
And
done.
I can reference on this and say that Sam is a psycho.
Works for me. And so at least that's what he's beginning to say. Has Sam ever heard the voices before?
No.
According to him, no. It's the first time he's heard them. And the fact that it's sort of freaking him out a little bit, at least it seems to be, to hear the voices. Maya?
Why wasn't he in the car?
Good question. I bet if we keep reading the story, we'll find out. Reading does amazing
He probably
things.
got mad and was like, I'm leaving you guys.
Now, you'll see the little dots up there at the top. That means it's jumping to a new scene. The top of that next column will dot, 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 dot. It means so it's jumping to a new part in the story, so it's not going to keep going from there. Yes, dear?
Isn't the two columns with the stars, they're like the same story?
It's all the same story, it's just a different location.
Different. Yeah, that's what I mean,
That works for me. Yeah. All right. From there, Jordan, we'll have you read a bit more.
His eyes hurt. He was sitting in his first period science class and couldn't believe his bad luck. Mrs. Marks was
Droning.
droning on and on in front of the room, something about cells and membranes, when his eyes kept bursting into flames. Well, not actual flames, but it was sure felt pretty close. He was just sitting there trying not to get called on, trying not to think about what a horrible morning he had when all of a sudden his vision went completely white and he could feel an odd pressure on his eyelids. And then it was gone. Nothing. He could see just was fine without a problem. No residual stars in his vision. No need to blink to clear his eyes. The whiteness was gone as quickly as it had come.
One more.
Sam quickly looked around to see if anyone else had noticed the burst of whiteness or if it had just been him. But nobody else seemed to be having a problem. He was looking to his left to see if Trevor had noticed it. But his left eye bursting into flames, whiteness.
Nicely done. So we've jumped to a new location, so no longer taking place in his bedroom. Where is it taking place now? Maze?
Science classroom.
So now it's taking place at school in the science classroom. Now he has a different issue happening to him. And what issue is now happening, Forbes?
His eyes are like in flames.
Nicely done. He says it's not real flames. He says it feels like it's on flame. But he describes it as something else. Because what else is what he described happening to it, Jordan?
His eyes, like his vision, is like going white.
Nicely done. So he says the vision just goes completely white, like holding a blank piece of paper up really close to your face. It just goes all white. And he mentioned that there was a feeling. He felt something.
It was pressure on his eyes.
odd pressure on his eye. So it feels sort of like that. I'm guessing like pushing or something. There's some kind of like pressure means like you can feel like pushing-ish onto the eyelids. Maya?
If his eyes, if you couldn't see anything but white, would his eyes be turned the other way?
Not necessarily. I mean, it might be, but not necessarily.
You just keep
It means for whatever reason that you just can't. I mean, like I'm seeing pink right now. My eye's not going backwards. It just means that for whatever reason, instead of pink, he's seeing white.
I see black.
You can see black.
Right?
Yeah, each their own. All right. Keep going from there, Jose.
Alright,
Project. Read loud.
okay. This time you notice it didn't actually hurt. It had just startled him and freaked him out, but there was no actual pain. He stopped for a moment, one eye viewing nothing but a brilliant, shining whiteness, and the other viewing his friend Trevor. He blinked to clear it, and then the whiteness switched eyes. His left eye cleared just as his right eye burst into a vanilla star. He gasped audibly as
Audibly means out loud.
Oh, okay. As the eye change startled him. He still felt no pain, but it was becoming incredibly frustrating. Mr. Times, are you okay? A voice from the front of the room asked. He spun in his seat to see Mrs. Larks looking at him with a concern in her eyes. He stared at her for about 3 heartbeats as he tried to focus with his only good eye. Mr. Times, you're not looking well. Would you like to go to the nurse? With a final burst of cream-colored light, his right eye suddenly filled with a stereo imagine of his life. His vision had returned. He rose to his feet, feeling surprisingly steady but scared. His vision was fine, but his mind, or his head at least, most certainly was not.
Thank you, Jose. Maya.
I have a connection to where it like changes settings or whatever. It's like that boy something world or something. That show.
Boy World,
Yeah.
where it jumps scenes like in a TV show,
No, like where they were at the restaurant or something.
and then all of a sudden they're somewhere else.
Yeah.
I said very similar. Keep going, Freebie, just a bit more.
Are we at May? I asked what's
May I ask what's wrong? My head hurts. Is all. I should be fine if I can get some aspirin or something, he told her. Well, I hope you feel better. Go ahead and grab a pass off the wall and head down. You can get the homework from a friend when you get back. Thanks, ma'am. I should be fine once I get something for my head. He walked up to the front of the room and grabbed the laminated blue pass off its hook on the wall. He didn't have to turn to feel the eyes of the class on him as he walked out. Even though he was just going to the nurse, he could still feel all the attention being directed at him. He could actually feel the silence in the room as all the eyes behind him followed his progress from the teacher's desk to the door. Oh, God, he thought, this is beginning to feel like a really bad dream.
They're all dead. And there we'll stop. Go ahead and put that away. We'll come back tomorrow to find out what the voices are. Your homework is, don't read the story. Wait till tomorrow. And you also have the short story homework number 2. Yes, Mickey? You want to do the thing?
I know.
Up you go, dear. All right, Mickey. You think you know it? Yes, horrible. I'll fail you.
Oh, Mickey, read it.
All right, Mickey. Hang on. We'll stop this so people don't have to hear you.
Yay!